very beautiful morning to you and you and you. You're welcome to Dawn on MBC. And my name is Jumoke. It's a very beautiful Saturday morning right here. And we're hoping that together we can coast home to 11 a.m. when we're all happy that the show is over. But guess what? Before the show becomes over, we have lots of things all lined up for you on this beautiful Saturday morning. In a couple of minutes, I'll be joined by one of Houston's mayoral candidates. Yes, one of those seeking your votes for the forthcoming election, November 2015. He's going to be joining us. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, except those who have been following us on Twitter and on Facebook, so you can tell. But that said, we'll also bring you our headline news. This day in history, we'll discuss sports. And guess what? I also have this very well-known comedian in the house. So together, we'll be making Dawn this Saturday morning a very fantastic one. You're welcome to the show, and I will be back.
I'm your worn-out wiper blades. Hey, nice air freshener. For $12 more, you could have seen the road. And when you got cut-rate car insurance, nobody helped make sure you were covered for this. So get an Allstate agent.
Are you in good hands? Call today for a free review and some exciting discounts. Allstate Insurance, Olukayode Ajanaku, Auto, Home, Life Insurance, 9903 Texas Highway 6, Suite 600, Sugar Land, Texas, 77498. Telephone 713-776-3276.
Welcome back. Well, so I told you this morning that we'll be joined by one of the top contenders for the office of the mayor of Houston. Yes, he's here. And I'm talking about a lawyer, a former journalist. At that point, I'm like hesitant because when you're a journalist, you're always a journalist, whatever way it happens. All right. And at one time, best reporter in the state of Texas, a former congressman, a former city council member, and it goes on and on, a father, a Sunday school teacher. You just have it, all rolling up. Good morning, Mr. Chris Bell. Nice to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's great to have you. So let's take it up from here. For those who are wondering how you can be part of this show, the number to call is 713-340-7514. Once again, 713-340-7514. You have your questions. Yes, we've gotten all your messages on Facebook. Thank you. So we'll take them. Now, some of the questions we have lined up for you,
okay.
Right? Let's start off. You were once a journalist. I would say you are a journalist. You are a legal practitioner. You're a father. You're a Sunday school teacher, a former congressman, a former city council member. How do you think all of this careers, all of those roles in life have prepared you to say you want to come out to be the mayor of a culturally diverse city like Houston?
The most diverse city in the entire United States of America. And first and foremost, I think any mayor needs to be very aware of that, that it's a giant city, a very big city, with a lot of different cultures, and you have to work to bring people together. And I think that's probably always been my greatest strength, both as a member of City Council and as a member of Congress, that I was always a real champion for diversity that was recognized in my office and certainly would be recognized if I'm fortunate enough to be elected mayor. And I think all of that life experience really has prepared me. I'm at a very good point in my life, I think, to lead the city, and that's why I decided to get back in the public arena. I think that the city of Houston is very well positioned to move forward and to move to what I call the next level, and to not only be the fourth largest city, but really start acting like the fourth largest city and to become one of the most modern cities in the entire country. That would be my goal as mayor.
Okay, so looking at all of this, do you think that your past roles and careers and professions position you in a way that you're most likely to win the elections?
Well, I think, given my base of support and given the people who routinely vote in city elections, we are very well positioned to win this race. We have a lot of work to do. Now the campaign is just heating up, the block walking starting. One reason I'm dressed so casually today, I'll be walking on blocks and knocking on doors, a little bit later. But you talk about my past experience, and I've always told folks that there's no better training ground for public service than journalism and law. Journalism, because you learn how to delve into subjects very quickly, and you're met with a tremendous number of different subjects as a lawmaker, as a public official. And you have to be able to think fast and be able to ask the right questions and learn about those various subjects. And law, obviously, it teaches you to think like a lawyer, and since you're passing ordinances and laws, it's good to have that base of knowledge. And so I do think my background has prepared me very well.
And it's going to increase your chances.
Well, certainly. I having served in Congress and represented a large part of the city, that is very good about voting, and having been elected citywide to the city council, there are only two of us running who've ever been elected citywide, and so I do think it's an advantage.
Okay, so let's look at in the past on your campaign website. There's some things and also some interviews where you've granted, and you said, well, you expect that people or your opponents may take some things from, okay, why didn't you win in the past? In the past, you've once contested to be a governor of Texas. All right, and then you've heard some failed attempts at some other parts of it. Don't you think this may stand in your way a bit?
Well, I don't think that there's any real shame in running for office and not winning. What I've said, the shame is not caring enough to even try. And so, there's always a chance. There's no guarantees when you enter a political race that you're going to win, and certainly I've lost my fair share. I highly recommend winning. It's a lot more fun. But I've also had the pleasure and the privilege of serving, and I think if anybody really looks at my record during my 5 years on city council and during my term in Congress, obviously, I probably would have served longer in Congress, but for the fact that my district got completely redrawn.
Right.
But if people even look at that 2-year stint, what they're going to see is someone who was really committed to public service.
Remember 4 standing committees.
And to the public, yeah. And so I think I did a good job, and I was never turned out of office for doing a bad job. And so I do think that makes a difference going forward. And you ask people and you do the research and polling, and you find out that people still think fairly highly of me, and so that's nice to see.
That's good. All right, the show is done on MBC, and this morning I have the honor of having in the studio, live and direct, Mr. Chris Bell. He's one of the top contenders for the office of the mayor of the city of Houston, and we've been talking about how his past career is profession, his background has prepared him for this particular election come November 2015. Right now, we'll take a quick break, and when we get right back, we'll be getting into the nitty-gritty of our discussion. Okay. It's for the Africans who want to know what you have in store for us. It's done on MBC. Don't go away. Don't forget, 713-340-7514.
All what we need is somebody that can lead the country to a promised land.
As a mother, these are too many things that loaded in you, so you have to understand that if God gave you all these realities, He's also giving you grace and capacity to make it.
Thank you. Yes, I love what I do. Shegungele, this is what they call me, so this is Shegungele.
Music of Salty Soul all the way from the east of Africa, Kenya, and they were one of those who were nominated for the recently concluded MTV Music Awards in Africa and also the BET Awards here in the United States. I still have with me Mr. Chris Bell in the studio. Now, let's talk about this. As an aspect of inclusion of diverse people of Houston, who naturally coming from different backgrounds, right? Africans in their numbers would like to be involved in the running and policies of the city of Houston. If elected, would you be making this a top priority?
Absolutely. We've had quite a bit of outreach to the African community here in Houston. That would continue if I'm elected mayor. I would like to have a liaison from the community, not just a staff member, but someone who's actually in the community, knows the concerns, knows the priorities, knows the issues, who can have a direct link to the mayor's office and report to us so that we can tend to those needs. And I think that the African community, we were just talking about it, I didn't realize it was quite as large.
Oh, yes, it is.
As it is now. I thought it was closer probably to 150,000. You were saying it's 250,000.
Yes.
And so it's a very vital part of this community, and my sense is that the community would like to be more involved at City Hall, and I certainly would have an open door to that.
Okay, so Houston is huge, right? And the third largest city in the U.S. with its increasing population, business, and investment. This will naturally be an incentive for other social challenges. What are your plans to respond to such when it comes?
What now, as far as the growth is concerned, or what?
In terms of social challenges that come with the increasing population of the city of Houston, because it's constantly growing.
Well, it is, and right now we're the fourth largest city. By 2030, we're expected to be the third largest city, and with growth comes some challenges, obviously. And one of the big complaints that you hear here in the city of Houston has to do with the infrastructure and the condition of the streets. And the condition of the streets is rather shameful. And there are a lot of taxi drivers in the African community, as you're aware, and they can tell you just how bad those streets are, and they have told me on occasion how bad they are, and we've got to do something about it. And what we proposed is a different management style, and part of modernization is taking greater advantage of technology so you can manage the city better, and getting on top of these types of concerns and planning for the future better. You just can't have growth without any type of planning, and so in my administration that would be a focal point.
Okay, so you're going to be including lots of technology in helping to fix.
Well, cities that have moved or that are moving forward at a very fast pace, a lot of people point to New York and Chicago and Boston. They're taking full advantage of the advancements in technology, and we've done some of that here in the city of Houston, but not near to the degree that I think is really necessary for us to move forward. Because of the advancements in technology in this day and age, regardless of what you're trying to accomplish, whether you're trying to synchronize the traffic lights or provide information to a neighborhood or community or manage the city better, there are usually technological solutions for that, and we would be taking full advantage of that in my administration.
Okay, well, you're hearing live from Mr. Chris Bell right here on Dawn. And let's also ask this question from you. We've asked a couple of people that in recent times, the tension being created in the city in terms of police, in the whole state, in terms of police brutality. What are some strategies, some plans that you have or your administration would try to put in place to improve curbing of crime, like minimizing crime, and talk about community policing?
Couple of things there. I was very upset to learn that there were more than 20,000 crimes with leads that had not been investigated here in the city of Houston. That is unacceptable. And my belief is that we developed this attitude that so-called minor crime really didn't matter. I don't agree with that. If your car gets broken into, or worse, if your home gets broken into, I don't think there's anything minor about that. And all crime needs to be taken seriously, and if it's not being taken seriously, it's going to lead to more serious crimes in the future. And so I think that attitude has to change. Very upset about what we've seen across the country in terms of police relations with especially the African American community. We've done a better job of it here in Houston. We have a police department that looks a lot like the city. That certainly would continue to be a priority if I'm mayor. I think in a diverse city like Houston, your police department has to reflect the population of the city. So first and foremost, that is very important. But also, I think it's important that if problems are arising and problems are being noticed, you don't try to sweep them under the carpet. You bring in community leaders and you talk about them and you get to the heart of the problem and you do something about it. Because all these situations, whether you're talking about Baltimore or Ferguson, Missouri, These things have been brewing for a long time. These were not surprise incidents. There was a culture within those police departments that people knew about, and it wasn't addressed. And if you don't address the problems on the forefront, on the front end, then they're going to lead to very serious situations later on down the line, and you have to avoid that. One more thing, body cameras. I think in a lot of these incidents that we've seen lately, we know that the police wouldn't have been brought to justice, but for the fact there was a videotape of what happened. This incident that just occurred in Cincinnati, and the person was just indicted for. Without the video, it would have been very difficult to prosecute that police officer. And so I definitely think that both for police protection and for citizen protection, police need to be wearing body cameras.
Okay, so what about looking at creating community programs in order to engage idle hands and...
Well, I'm a big fan of community policing. I think it's very important that police officers know the community that they're working in. And I also think that when you're seeing an increase in crime in a neighborhood or a community, you put more police officers in that area. That has proven over time to be the greatest deterrent to crime, having more police on the street. But I think it's very important that the police are familiar with the community and are part of the community.
Okay. All right. You're hearing live from him this morning. We'll take another quick break, and when we come back, it will be time for us to wrap up with Mr. Chris Bell, because it's a very busy time for them. The campaign season, it's done on MBC.
Flowing. I love that. Sasa, forget about Christian or Muslim. Nigeria is not a country that is totally Muslim or a Christian. All what we need is somebody that can lead the country to a promised land.
As a mother, these are too many things that loaded in you, so you have to understand that if God gave you all these realities, He's also given you grace and capacity.
Thank you. Yes, I love what I do. Shegungele, this is what they call me, so this is Shegungele.
Okay, so it's time for us to wrap up, and of course, we hope you enjoy the headlines. You're able to scan through it. For more details, you could just go online and check out any of the news websites for yourself. So now, just to ask you this final one before you go, Mr. Bell. Now, this opportunity, you're talking to thousands of Africans cut across Liberia, Cameroonians, Kenyans, Nigerians, Burundi. Well, some speak English, some do not speak English, right? But this is the opportunity you have. You're talking to them now. Is there something else we haven't touched on that you'll wish to discuss with them? This is...
Well, we touched on diversity, and I think that's very, very important. You want a mayor who is very aware of all the different cultures and will be mindful of those cultures and very respectful of those cultures. But as mayor, I would also try to work to bring communities together and make them more a part of the city. A lot of times in the city of Houston, we find our little area where we live and where we work and where we play, and we just stay in that one little area, and we don't meld as well as we possibly can, or well as we possibly should. And I would work very hard to bring people together and make them feel a real part of the city. I'm excited about the opportunity. I think that Houston's best days are in front of us. I recognize that we're a world-class city and we can only get better. And I think with the right leadership, we will get better. And so I'm looking forward to having the opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's done. Well, it's time for him to go right now. And I will be right back. Don't worry. We still have JD. You know him. He's a very well-known comedian who has been all around the United States. I'll be back with you. And Don, thanks so much for this opportunity, Mr. Bell.
Thank you.
Wish you the best with the campaign.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Forget about Christian or Muslim. Nigeria is not a country that is totally Muslim or a Christian. All what we need is somebody that can lead the country to a promised land.
As a mother, these are too many things that loaded in you, so you have to understand that if God gave you all these realities, He's also giving you grace and capacity to make it.
Thank you. Yes, I love what I do. Shegungele, this is what they call me, so this is Shegungele.
Since MBC has been at your service, our clients have told us their businesses have been booming, and we found out too. What are you doing about your business? Do you want more clients? Do you want more people to know about the services that you do provide? Do you have a luncheon coming? What about your premieres? Call MBC. Advertise your birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, church program, or request our coverage at your function. MBC, at your service 24/7. Call 832-887-6452 or call 281-888-9502. MBC, your favorite station, sharing African views.
Dawn, brought to you in association with Wazobia African Food Market, Trinity African Bar and Grill,
By the time you
welcome back, and it's Dawn on MBC. Right now, guess who I got in the house? Well, for those who won't have an idea with that shot, skip there, you would know there is someone. Then you begin to think she or he. Well, I got to tell you, a he. And he's been doing this thing since ever. Well, since I've known him way back in Nigeria. And I'm talking about Jetty.
Sis of life. I'm good.
You throw away there, or that the person threw away?
Well, actually, the thing is, there was a lost.
Okay. Someone got missing.
Someone got missing. There was a lost.
Okay.
So because the someone lost it, we were now trying to help the person to find the way. So,
unfortunately, you did more harm.
Funny enough, I still remember the Sugar Loaf Mill Road. It's just that I know it was somewhere. So, but it's around the area.
You're welcome to Dawn once again. If you've just tuned in, this is what we know how to do best. We bring them when we get them. They're in town. Well, he just came into town yesterday night, and I said, you know what? You got to be on the show.
Yes.
And it's great to have
If I had known, I'll be coming every weekend. I'll just resume 10 a.m.
I will commit you to that too.
It's as long as it's not even we're in the United States of America.
Anything can happen.
It's the best use of technology. It's the best use of proper planning and activity. So I mean, it can work. It's just about possibly we can have an airline who can sponsor the show, and every weekend I fly in just to be on the show.
Just like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
so you're looking good.
Thank you.
The U.S. has been good to you.
He's the same for you too.
It's very different.
I know you before.
I did not know you before.
Excuse me, people that have seen me.
I did not know you before.
I can't tell you. This lady, we have no scenes before we have come here.
I did not know him before. Excuse me. Okay, so I follow you. You're in Dallas, you're in Atlanta, you're in Maryland, you're in Washington. You're everywhere.
What I can say is the grace of God. It's not something I can boast that is my own power. You know, even if, yes, I could be skilled in that area, I could be good in what I do, but I still attribute it to God. Because he's the one, if he decides that I leave today, all that won't be achieved. But for the fact that he has given me that opportunity to live each and every day and bring all these opportunities for me to come, then all glory goes to him. We are nothing but small boys. Who are we? We are trying. Wherever they call us, we go there. It's just I'm happy they've not called us in Iran and Afghanistan.
So, wait, they call you.
There's no comedy show there. Don't worry. There's no comedy show. No, there's no comedy show there.
Okay, so tell me, you've been to all the cities in the U.S. and then you've been doing the only thing you know how to do best, which is to make people crack and laugh. Yes. Has this paid off financially for you?
Yeah, in between. I would say yes. No. Family, I know you guys want me to be real with you. Yeah. In between.
Okay.
I would say at least financially enough for me to at least cover the bills and at least take care of myself a bit, you know. But you know, now when one becomes a big family, you marry, you have kids ahead. Now we want it to get bigger.
Bigger.
So just note now, just in case you call me and I give you, you understand, family is involved. But apart from the fact that financially, yes, it's in between, but the experience is worthwhile. I believe it's the experience where you learn a lot and gives you more room to be creative, work harder, get better, and get better finance, you know. So I'm happy once again, as I said before, that I could travel to different cities. I can't count how many I've been to in America. And I know I've not covered so much because America is big.
Big, right.
Even outside America, we've gone to Canada, I've been to London, I've been to Ghana, I've been to South Africa.
What about Nigeria now?
Oh yes, that was the home. Oh yeah, I still go back home to do quite a number of things. It's been the home, it's the base, it's the foundation, where everything was made, where the gift was born, where the brand was born, you know, and it still kudos still goes back to the country. And we're happy that, I was discussing with someone earlier on today, telling that, have you noticed that it's only Nigerians that actually have the ability to expand beyond where they are? I mean, for goodness sake, we have, for example, now Zenith Bank, but we have other branches outside Nigeria. GT Bank, branches outside Nigeria. Churches, branches outside Nigeria. Even comedians now are going outside Nigeria. You understand? Actors and actresses. Exactly. Yes, look at you. I mean, so it's a good thing that we have the opportunity to grow, you know, and expand outside the shores of the country. A lot of Nigerians are doing well here, entertainment-wise, in America, and I'm happy and proud.
Okay.
That adage that says, if you do not step out, you keep saying my father's farm is the biggest. So when we're in Nigeria, we thought it was just there until we came out like, oh, that's a bigger picture.
There's a bigger picture. So now you're in the city of Houston.
Yes.
You came in last night.
Yes.
Why are you here?
I'm here in support of my brother, my friend. His name is MCPC, but first name we call him Polycap.
Polycap.
He's having his annual show, Be Yourself Comedy Show. And he was there for me during my tour, LWKMD. That was just in July.
We'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, it was a good one. So I'm here with him, and it's going to be on Sunday at Dominion Chapel. So it's going to be a great time. We're just ready to crack people up. I'm happy that it's growing.
That's good.
I'm happy that comedy amongst us Africans, I mean Nigerians, then we go into Africa, it's growing. Because actually people here go to work, come home, pay bills, go to work, come home, pay bills, but not every time do they really have opportunity to go out and have fun. So thank God for comedy shows, like family-friendly shows that people come with their kids, come with their cousins, family relations, and come and enjoy and feel Nigerian again. So we're looking forward to this.
So I have with me JD's in the studio right now. JD live and direct. We'll take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about his LWKMD. We'll say,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what does it mean? Yeah.
Oh, okay. When we come back, we'll give you the full meaning. Don't go away.
Oh, I know it, madam. It's not far from here. I know if you... yes, no. Sugarloaf meal, madam.
Sugarloaf.
Hey, I know it, madam. I know if you go forward now, and you... Sugarloaf meal.
Yeah, Sugarloaf.
I just want to be sure. I remember.
Since MBC has been at your service, our clients have told us their businesses have been booming, and we found out too. What are you doing about your business? Do you want more clients? Do you want more people to know about the services that you do provide? Do you have a luncheon coming? What about your premieres? Call MBC. Advertise your birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, church program, or request our coverage at your function. MBC, at your service 24/7. Call 832-887-6452 or call 281-888-9502. MBC, your favorite station, sharing African views.
Okay, that's done. Just showing you a bit of all the beautiful things we have for you on the show. Well, Jetty's still here, and in just a couple of minutes, we'll be wrapping it up with him. You were going to tell me LWKMD. It sounds like a rhyme, LWKMD, man. You know what I'm saying?
LWKMD, it's an acronym that came from Nigeria. It's called Laugh Won't Kill Me Die.
Laugh won't kill me die.
No,
That's so nice.
Yeah, that's the same way you have
LOL, right? No, but LOL has different definitions.
Laugh out loud or you know, so we just thought, I remember that day very well. This was 6 years ago. No, 6 years ago. We were about 6 in the living room just talking about how we can do a comedy show.
Okay.
So, let's come up with a name. So someone just said, look, let's just target. It started with Jetty Live in LWKMD. In my head, I'm like, what kind of name is this? I can't believe that 6 years after it has become a brand. That people even look for the people don't even remember the Jetty again. It's just, when is LWKMD coming up? When is LWKMD coming? When is LWKMD up? Just from small thinking, a few years back, it has become a brand.
And it's gone round.
Oh yes,
we've been to.
DC is the home. DC, Maryland is the home headquarters every year. We've done Toronto. We've done Calgary in Canada. We've also done Houston. We've done Dallas before. We've done Atlanta before. We've done Chicago, and we're believing God to expand more every year. You know, it's the little we could do. I mean, based on the hustle from our pockets and little support here and there. That's what we'll be able to do for the past.
All right, JD, I know you're here for an event, so I won't hold you in too much. So what you want to say to your fans?
Let's finish.
Let's hold you forever here. I know, right? So JD is here with us, but he has to go in a couple of minutes, you know. So now, let's talk about it. What's your message to your fans out there? People who are here will, you know.
Oh, yes.
Faithful fans.
You know, I would like to say thank you very much, first of all. It goes a long way for you to accept us for who we are, love us, and follow us, you know. So, first of all, thank you. Secondly, to those who, amongst my fans, are dreaming and still working towards becoming something in life, it might not really be in the field of entertainment, it might not be in the field of politics, it might be in the field of other career and profession of your choice, but take your time to grow. Don't be in a haste to get there. Take your time to grow. I always remember one saying, it said, if you jump up, you jump down. But if you grow up,
you'll grow down.
And you can't go down.
That's
so
it.
Just keep focused. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be that spontaneous. No. But just remember that along the way, there's always grace.
All right. Thank you so much, JD, for that. I really appreciate it. Not be my fault too. Laugh won't kill me.
Oh my God! I need to speak to your family, your husband, your kids. Mommy is beautiful.
All right, JD. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
It's been really great having you on the show. We'll take another quick break. This is done on MBC. When we come back, I have someone coming to join me, and together we'll wrap up the show. But then we'll visit the world of sport. When we talk about you know, the selection, Olise, the clouds, the noise, the buzz around it again. Okay, so just before we wrap up on the show this morning, we can but stop at the sports section. And I have with me Prof. Patrick Omosage. Now, we're taking him from the sports angle now. We're not talking politics with him this morning. We're just asking. Last week we started off with the selection of Sunday Olise as the coach for Nigerian Super Eagles. And we started, you gave your opinion about it. And my question is your general feeling. What's your general feeling about the state of Nigerian soccer at the moment?
Well, look, I mean, if it's the state of Nigerian soccer, look, the best way to kind of grade Nigerian soccer is really what happens in Europe. And we're just about finishing the transfer season in Europe, and there was no Nigerian player that was a major. That was in any major transfer. So that's you're moving players from club to club, and obviously the value of your game is based on the amount of money that moves you. And no Nigerian player was involved in any big money move. So that tells us that our soccer is not doing well. 10 years ago, we probably would have about 2-3 players, Kanu, Okocha, and all those guys were being moved around or playing in prominent clubs. We don't have that now. So the level of Nigerian soccer, when you look at it compared to the international scene, is a little bit on the downside. Now, one of the things I hope that Olise will be able to do as a national coach is that we did hear that the Football Federation wants him to help them create a plan, a 5-year plan. Now, if he's allowed to do that and it's done well, we might be able to get better at what we like to do, which is play soccer.
Okay, so why would you think the choice of Olise came up?
Look, there are times that, you're caught between a hard place and, and I think they were caught between a hard place. The letting Keshi go, which was almost a sudden reaction to something he did. And they had to fill that position almost immediately. So, Olise has been someone that's been on the periphery of the Football Federation. I'm not saying on their mind, but we have seen him as someone, he's involved with FIFA, he's involved in Europe, where everybody talks about his football academic qualification and all that. So I think it was just a choice that they had. Personally, I don't see anybody out there. Maybe names can be mentioned and I can think about it, but right at that time, or at this time that he was picked, I didn't see anybody out there.
Anybody at the top of your head that you think could feel that?
Yes. Again, they've given him a 3-year contract, which is a pretty short contract, but we'll see what happens from there.
So do you think it's right?
Look.
You generally say yes?
I would say it's fine because, look, could we have gone for a European? Yes, but look, it's too costly and we didn't have the time. It takes a little bit of time to have these negotiations and get things done. So I think Olise is okay. And let's see how it, I wrote an article this morning on goal.com that is talking about...
And that means you're going to be jumping the gun for my next question because I was going to ask you, so what's your expectation of him?
Look, here's my expectations. My article, everybody in Nigeria right now, or all over the world that support Nigerian football, are looking at what is his selection going to be. And I said, look, the selection is not going to be different from... Is he going to play with his children? No. He's going to play with the players we have now. So his team is still going to be, I can guarantee you, 80% of the players we already know. What would be different, and which I wrote about, is that what is going to be his football strategy? What kind of formation are we going to play? Is it a 4-3-3? Is it a 4-4-2? Is it a 4-2-3-1? What is the formation? That's going to be the key to his success. What style of football we play with the quality of talent or with the talent we have. So his style is going to be predicated on the kind of players he picks. And so that's what I'm really waiting for. It's not who he picks. It's 80% of what we've always known.
The existing players?
Yes, of existing players. He can manufacture new ones.
Okay, well, Prof, thank you so much for that quick analysis of the Nigeria soccer scene. And if you missed any part of the show this morning, you can always go onto YouTube and just type Dawn on MBC, DAWN on MBC. Go onto Facebook and drop us your messages. You can tweet me right there at I am Jimmy. I'll be so delighted to hear from you. You have questions? Okay, so even if you still have questions for our guest who is gone or any of our guests, just send them to me and I will be that middle person. I'll pass them on to them. So right now, we hope you've enjoyed every bit of Dawn this morning. I'm going to say a very big thank you to you for being a part of the show. It's been my greatest pleasure presenting it to you. I wish you all a very beautiful Saturday. Hey, just before I go, happy birthday to you, Oje Lawal. It's his 60th birthday today. Wishing you many happy returns. Is one of our mentors, and he's going to be on this show next week as we talk about IRS. Are you owing the IRS? And what are those things you should do when you're owing them? What are the steps to take? So if you're in that situation or you know someone in that situation, don't forget, tell them to be part of Dawn next week, Saturday, as we discuss IRS with Oji Lawal. We'll leave you with voices from what happened at the just concluded town hall meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. Enjoy it, and we'll see you next week.
Defense agreed with us that they will help assist us in terms of training and weapon equipment when it comes to issue of the haram. They agreed with us that as a country, we not them, we need to deal with the issue of the to deal with the issue of social development. That's good.
successful. The reception was marvelous, and we were able to discuss so many issues.
We're taking back, for instance, on defense, which is key, because Mr. President has said all along that without security, we really cannot do anything. So we got really firm offers of help and security. On trade as well, on investment, we got really firm offer, and in fact, Secretary Penny Pritzker, the Secretary of Commerce, the meeting we had with her, also suggested Mr. President to come and address the Doing Business in Africa, the Forum of Doing Business in Africa, to put up its plans for commerce in Nigeria and to get the support. We're looking for investment, American investment, this time not to come and chase.
Since MBC has been at your service, our clients have told us their businesses have been booming, and we found out too. What are you doing about your business? Do you want more clients? Do you want more people to know about the services that you do provide? Do you have a luncheon coming? What about your premieres? Call MBC. Advertise your birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, church program, or request our coverage at your function. MBC, at your service 24/7. Call 832-887-6452 or call 281-888-9502. MBC, your favorite station, sharing African views.